ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful, to what the hell? We got some news for you, everybody. Because instead of getting interviews, people that come in and do interviews and everything, we just do the news now. But this is
make us journalists. Are we journalists now?
I don't.
Not even close.
You know,
I'm way too opinionated to be a journalist.
Well, me and Johnny got in, and we were actually thinking about getting press passes. We looked into it. We looked into getting press passes and find out if how much it costs and how we could do it, because he was just on the notion for like nerd sports. He's like, "You think we could get press passes?" I was like, "Man, we gotta. I don't know if it has to have an audience or if you have to have like just someone support you on doing that."
I think everybody has a podcast now, so you should be able to. I mean, that's a semi-legitimate thing now.
Yeah. So we
are published technically. If you really want to push the argument, we are published.
Yeah,
it's an electronic medium, but we're published. It's self-published, but still published.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing with like shot show. We can go onto the floor for shot show because we have like a public meeting. All we have to do is put a couple of clips and ask a couple of questions, and we're good for the rest of the day.
I mean, it's not like we don't have some industry people that would be able to.
Yes, I understand that.
Just give passes away like
candy. Yeah.
It's not that hard to get a pass to shot show.
No,
if you know the right people. I will say that though. You do have to at least know the right people, but
well, yeah. You don't want to go behind a dumpster and blow a hobo off and find out that he doesn't have like actual good credentials. But it actually would surprise me if he actually did.
He might. I mean, that's only happened to you, what, 3 times?
4. Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be at least a 5th.
Dude.
NASCAR will be the 5th.
Text you about an hour after the show. Chris, it happened again. Damn it. Same hobo, too.
Fuck. I was surprised to find him in Texas, but yeah, he was here.
Not even surprised.
Who gets around?
It was like what was it? He was on Naked and Aflame. He works for you guys. He's a comedian too.
He was for who?
He works with you guys.
You said he was on what?
But he was on Naked and Afraid.
Oh, Justin Governal.
Yeah. He was talking on Drinking Bros, and that he was trying to surprise with like, showing his junk to the cameraman, but after like the 5th one, he wasn't even surprised. He's like, after the 5th is like the first couple of tunes, like, "Oh man, you got me," and after the 5th one, it's like, "Whatever, dude."
Yeah, I've seen it. That's old news.
Yeah. I was like,
did you watch that episode?
No, I don't watch Naked and Afraid. It's boring. Because I keep on fucking yelling at
No,
the
that was just that one episode with him though. It was nuts, dude. That dude is mission focused.
Oh yeah.
It was actually a good episode.
I might check it out.
You
But
should watch at least just that one. Just
yeah. But I can't stand that show because every time I'm like, one, I wouldn't fucking be naked. It would be like someone going after me and they did this on my own free will. I will never go out anywhere. I was like out in the forest and everything. I'm pants. I try to do long sleeves, or I have something where I can cover my arms.
I know it's out there. I don't want any of this anywhere near
I'm
myself.
carrying a gun. I'm ready. I'm carrying a gun, a knife. Might have explosives
Dude,
just in case.
Can you imagine getting a tick on your taint or something like that? Like that would be,
dude.
worst case scenario.
No. It is a worst case scenario because I've had a tick on my fucking taint.
How the fuck did that happen? We need to hear this. Enlighten us. We need the story.
No, I was out in the forest and everything. I was sleeping. The tick came in when I was sleeping, and crawled up my leg. It's nothing really hard to explain. Let the door open. Don't leave the fucking door open.
There you go.
Yeah.
Always zip up. and everything, every layer that you possibly can zip up.
Yeah, zip up everything. Now, news portion of the show after we. What's really sad is we go over the stuff beforehand, so we have like probably an extra 30 minutes where we could do this show, but we're like, you know what? we're gonna put the seasoning in it in, and then we're gonna stir the pot and see what cooks. But not Washington, California is there's some weird shit happening in California that we found out. First thing is, why are people sleeping in pods? What they do is they get probably about 12 to 16 pods in a house at times. The cheapest I've seen was probably about 85 on some places, but they're charging upwards to like $800 to $750. And now these pods, if you're ever in the Navy, these pods are about the same size of any kind of pod that you sleep in when you're on a Navy ship.
Yeah, it looks like enlistment berthing on a carrier.
Yeah. But
sub depends on what side of town you're on.
Yeah. But the reason why they're doing this, and this is, I was surprised that they just started doing this, because my brother-in-law told me about when he was in Oxnard, California. Him and a couple of buddies, just to rent a house was like $1,200. And at the time, nowadays, that's not unheard of in my neck of the woods in Wichita Falls.
Oh yeah, 1,200 is nothing for a full size house. Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, a month. But back then, you were looking at probably around about. I had a house we rented for like 400. It was a small house, like in 2003.
Right.
So yeah,
before the first housing bubble.
Mm-hmm. But we have it's so expensive to live in California right now. That's where they're going with. They're going with pod houses, so they can. And these people aren't working like big jobs. They're working like at like Best Buy and shit like that. I think the guy who was showing around his thing, and they have like rules what you do in the house, just like you have like rules on a ship type deal. You know, no screaming out and everything. He even said, it's like, hey, I don't want to, just keep it down as much as you possibly can when you're doing this. I'm not really supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, like I'm not supposed to be filming or anything like this because of people's privacy, which, again, I understand.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Tight of quarters, but
I'm surprised this
just cram in like that.
I understand. I mean, you're not making that much money. You want to make your buck stretch as long as you possibly can. You know, I'm at the stage in my life where I can live alone, and for a while there, I had like roommates all the fucking time. Even when I bought my house, I had roommates.
Yeah.
Only because you don't want your dollar to stretch as far as you possibly can.
See,
But
I'd be locating. I'd be finding another place that has a standard of living that I can maintain with what I am able to do.
yeah.
I couldn't. Nope. You couldn't pay me to stay there.
Oh, for the like little birthing thing.
Oh God, are you kidding me? I
I
couldn't.
mean,
If I'm living in a place that I could no longer afford, I would go somewhere where I could. And if
well,
that means selling everything that I own in order to be able to do that and start fresh in another place, and I know there's a lot of people are going to say, "Well, you can't just pick up a move." Yeah, you can.
yeah,
100% you can.
which
If you're
goes
that
into the
determined
other
about it,
topic,
you can do it.
which goes into the other topic of they're putting in a law that you are getting taxed if you move away from California. It's 1.25% for the next 10 fiscal years. To where
You have to pay California
that
after
you
you move.
yeah, you have to pay California after you move. I'm like,
There's
fucking hell.
no way that they're going to be able to make that one stand up in court. There's no
They fucked over their state so bad that people are leaving in droves.
Mm-hmm.
There were like 2020 during the whole COVID bullshit. That's fake. We can say it's fucking fake now, which I'm so fucking happy.
We have the receipts for it.
Yes, we have the receipts for it now. But they were saying it. I still want to go off on that shit, but I went off on it so many times. But they're saying that during that time frame when all this started, you couldn't buy a U-Haul truck to leave California, but you could get a U-Haul truck to going toward California.
Yep.
That's how bad it is. That you can't even get a U-Haul truck or a budget truck, whatever truck, a moving truck. We'll just go moving truck. You couldn't get a moving truck to get out of California because it was that's how many people were leaving.
You couldn't even find one because they were just dead. They were completely leaving the state. They were having to go and actually get empty trucks. The companies were having to get empty trucks and bring them into the state just to have something to be able to even rent. And then after a while, they just shut that down. No.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of stuff that facing up now because the whole fucking state. There's parts of California that I like, and I would love to visit. I wouldn't want to stay there, but I would love to visit.
Oh, yeah. Northern California? Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. It'd be all about it.
Down fucking gorgeous. I mean, it's a gorgeous state. It's just the people. It's like working correction. Working correction wasn't bad. I didn't have a bad time with it. It was my other coworkers that the reason why I left. I couldn't trust the coworkers. And a lot of correction officers will tell you that.
Yep.
I mean, even the guy that I met when I was rocking around the BRCC headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Yeah, it was the people. It was the other correctional officers. It wasn't the inmates or anything like that. It was smooth. All you had to do is like your job, and everything was perfectly fine."
Yep.
But when the people are running it are clowns and think everything should be XYZ, and they're wrong.
Can't be wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
how could they possibly be wrong? They said it.
Yeah, even Gavin Newsom's he's trying to get a bid in to become president of the United States. I was like, fuck you.
That's the funniest fucking thing. And then what's one of the first things that he suggests?
It was a 28th Amendment, right?
28th Amendment. He wants to curb the Second Amendment or portions of the Second Amendment that he doesn't like. He's just going to use a constitutional convention.
Yeah.
And he specifically said, because he didn't say it as an amendment, he wants a constitutional convention in order to propose the amendment. If you do it the way that he's suggesting, it has to be, you would need 37 states to sign on to even have the convention to do that. there is not. Well, we have 40. What is it? 43, 42 states or something like that have constitutional carry. You're gonna ask 30 of them to 37.
Is it 43?
Was it 43 or double check me on that? But I
Yeah.
know there's a large. It's more than half of the country is constitutional carry or has some form of open carry. I believe there's only like 3 or 4 states that don't have open carry, some form of open carry. And you're going to ask them to start putting this crap on the books. It's just not going to happen. I know for a fact that he's never going to get his 37 states signed on to even start. And then over and above, you would need a 75% vote in order to ratify the amendment. We know that isn't going to happen either.
Jesus fucking Christ. You're not wrong. Okay, there's see if I can get this blown up in time. It's gonna take a while because I got a fucking lot of fucking things going on.
I'm gonna start closing tabs or get them more.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I do the same. I always have like 14 tabs open.
Well, yeah, I do that. Okay, now there's some of them that you shall issue a CCW, which is a carry permit. But the states that have constitutional carry will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You got 25 states that are constitutional carry.
So half.
Yeah. And you got one,
right there negates it. Because you need what is it, 37 to sign on for the Constitutional Convention. At 25, you've already negated ever getting a Constitutional Convention to curb the Second Amendment.
Yeah, and you got,
and that's the main base of his entire campaign is based around curbing the Second Amendment and limiting what it can actually do. That's your entire. Ask old fucking O'Rourke.
Oh God,
Robert, because I refuse to call him the other one. His name is fucking Robert.
Yeah.
Ask Robert how it worked to run on a gun control platform.
Oh yeah, he didn't last long. He keeps on trying though. I mean, you gotta admit he keeps on trying.
Dude, he can't even run for dog catcher now and get votes. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
Nobody, not even in El Paso can he get elected to any office right now. That man is just poison.
Well, here's the thing. I never knew. I mean, JT keeps on talking about him as a horrible person, but it's like everybody's saying is like, oh, Trump is bad. But I always ask questions. Always like asking questions because that's how you gotta learn. It's like, why is he bad? Why is this person's bad? Because if a person's bad, like Trump, if you give me a valid argument why Trump is bad, but I found out like he's doing so much good, you're an asshole. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. Why are you giving me your opinion? Like if I give you an opinion, I'll give you XYZ, the reason why. And if you give me ABC reason why you're right, I might agree with you. It's called a debate.
Exactly.
But people nowadays, they just want to tell you this is the reason why we hate this. Well, why do you hate this? Because this. Well, what about this factor right here? Oh, we don't listen to that stuff.
Well, that doesn't agree with my viewpoint, so I'm going to ignore it.
Which we're about to get into with the earthquake machine. Apparently, the United States or some the New World Order has a earthquake machine, and it's in Antarctica. Someone sent me this because everybody likes to do where working towards a conspiracy theory show. Maybe we don't know yet. It's all depending on what happens later in our lives. If we want to give a shit with that one,
It's either going to be conspiracy theory or conspiracy fact.
yeah,
It's a little of both at this point.
yeah, because there's a lot of conspiracy stuff that happened. You're like, ah ha ha, that's fake. Like your boss Evan Hafer doing the whole fucking thing about CIA killing JFK, and then I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then the documents come out. I'm like,
Oh shit, he did.
fucking right. You gotta just fucking give me that guy.
Dude, the amount of I told you so's that have come out of just that one alone has been staggering.
Yes, but I'm one of those people that don't really get into all that stuff.
I
like
a lot of it is just for the entertainment value. And the big one is the 9/11
the extra building.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. That one I will watch every single video about those that I can, because it is absolutely hilarious to listen to people say that you can't melt steel. Okay, you can't. That may be true. Maybe they can't. But when you have that much weight and you soften the metal even a little bit, what's going to happen?
Well, there was a guy.
Integrity?
Yeah,
you were not.
There was a guy that he was a blacksmith, and he got so pissed off he made like a 3-minute video. That's all. That's how long it took him.
3 minutes to the entire movie.
It took him a couple of minutes just to heat up the fucking metal.
Exactly.
He put it in a steel rod. And he's like, "See this?" And I'm trying to show you that everybody in the audience is just listening to us. He was pushing it with his hand, and he couldn't bend it, couldn't move it, and he was pressing it against it. Then he heated up the metal, red hot. He put his index finger on it and just moved it and bent it. That's what happens.
Like butter. It doesn't need to melt to lose its structural integrity.
Yes. Jet fuel can't and will not melt steel. It doesn't get hot enough, but it will heat it up to the point when it becomes soft. Because
why do you think they chose the airliners that were flying out of the East Coast and flying towards the West Coast? Because they had full jet loads of fuel.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
It worked as designed.
But
between them and the flat earthers, man, I devour those, because it's just amazing to me to watch them just with their entire chest say so many wrong things so confidently.
No, what gets me is when someone goes, "Yeah, the Earth is flat. What about Mars?" "Oh no, that's round."
Oh, that's round.
Fucking planet. It's a fucking planet. It's the same thing as we are. It's a fucking. Are you just start? So I just. Oh my god!
Getting them to explain time zones is amazing,
and it's from a goddamn fucking NBA player.
Yes,
that's what it is. It's just everything on that flat Earth bullshit. Fuck off. Because if you backtrack it was just from an NBA player that just barely beat. I looked up the guy's history in high school. He barely passed high school. Barely passed.
It shows.
But he's intelligent enough to tell you when he's playing with a round goddamn fucking ball, the Earth is flat. Because the only thing that he knows is flat surface because of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
There's no scale or anything, too, because then they start talking about, centrifugal force and all this and everything. And it's like, well, water should be flying out of the globe. It's like, you need to think that things are to scale. And
well, you also got to think that
1,000 miles an hour sounds like a lot, but when you're talking about a globe, a planet, it's to scale. It's not that fast.
No,
it's like, how fast does the Earth spin? It spins on its axis once every 24 hours.
Yeah.
think about how fast that is.
It's like the whole climate change thing. Is there climate change? To a degree, yes, there is climate change. Are we
causing it?
Are we the problem of it? No.
Almost like weather is cyclical.
Yeah. Now, is there a problem with, pollution and everything? Yeah. Yeah, there's a problem with pollution. Should we be worried?
Like nobody's saying that we shouldn't have clean air and clean water and conservation. Conservation is absolutely a thing. We should absolutely be worried about what we're pumping in the atmosphere. 100%. I'm with you. But do we need to be going and taking the draconian measures that we're taking? And because apparently only the carbon that the West is putting off is the problem. As long as China and India are doing it, it's not an issue. That's not contributing to any of the problem. It's only the West.
That's what baffles me. That's what really baffles me about people is the basic fact of as long as you don't see it, it's not really happening.
Yeah.
Cell phones. Everybody has the people that have cell phones that go in. It's like, well, slavery shouldn't happen. We shouldn't do this. It's like, why are you buying a cell phone then?
You have no idea. They're buying iPhones and Nikes and then bitching about slavery.
Yes. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Right.
You're serious, right? That you're bitching and complaining about all this stuff. You know what's really sad is there actually is still slavery in the world, and no one's fighting against it. You're just backtracking from the past and everything. Then you find out that it was black people that actually caused all of this, and they're the highest ranking black person or highest ranking slave owner that started it all. Was black.
Yeah, the first slave owner in America was black.
And then you get upset. Now, am I saying
that's not condoning slavery at all?
Oh yeah, I'm not condoning slavery. Fuck that shit. If I had a chance, and I could pull out my supposed white privilege card and say, "Hey, I just want money now. I don't want to work for it." I fucking would. I would be bored out of my ass, hands down. My days off, I'd rather be going to work because at least I get someone to talk to and something to do. That's what's sad.
You just become a streamer.
Yeah, that's. I would make something.
I could do that. Think how badass our podcast would be at that point.
Well, we can go live whenever you want. Even Maria's like, why don't you go live? We actually get more views going live than we do just doing it like this, doing recordings. If we want to go live,
we should start putting that on the schedule.
We can start doing that on a schedule.
Every couple of weeks or something like that.
Once a month. Once a month.
Something like that. Yeah. We should. We absolutely should.
Yeah, we can do that. It's no big deal. I mean, I can set it up to record. I mean, we can do it with Zoom too. We can do it with all the other stuff, but
yeah,
it's just I have nothing reason why we shouldn't. It's just sometimes there's one person that says something oblivious that shouldn't be said, and I have to edit that out. It's mostly me. It's mostly me.
Mostly that person is always you, David.
That person is always me. I just don't want to be
real here for a minute. That person is always you.
But it's just so much weird how people want to live in this nice little bubble. And I tell this to everybody that they go against. It's like, well, United States sucks because of this. It's like, you have not been around the world, bro. You have not been around the world.
Like if we're around the world, dude, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, it pretty much sucks a little bit more everywhere else than the United States.
It sucks in different ways, but nobody's living high on the hog. Let's be honest.
Yeah, nobody's living high on the hog.
Well,
it's always
there's a handful of people.
Well, yeah, but they pretty much are on the backs of the people that are not living high on the hog.
Right.
I mean, that's how it goes. You know, you have a good idea, you work everything out, and then you grab a couple of people and ride them out into the sunset. That's how you work everything. Now, talking about
Yeah, we had a topic that we were going to start on that, and then we got sidetracked.
we always get sidetracked. Oh, it's conspiracy theories and everything like that. I can't stay on track for conspiracy theories,
Right.
especially if I have someone else that can't keep up with what we're talking about.
Let's start feeling like Charlie Day with the wire board or whatever you call it.
Yes.
Board. That's how I start feeling about it.
Yeah.
It's all connected, man.
Yeah, it is all connected.
All connected.
Now, I really don't want to cover that congressman's stuff. We can step over it. Go ahead and speak on that a little bit. I'll send you the things because David ended up eating something that he shouldn't have, apparently.
We're talking about the
20 congressmen.
censure. Okay.
I got the stuff for it. I'll just message you it. Takes time because I got a lot of fucking tabs open. There you go. Yeah, because I have been having an upset stomach for the last couple of days. So, and we're going full scream on Chris Jacket. Chris Jacket, everybody, with the congressman.
All right. So what has happened?
Why is it doing? God, there we go. We'll just do it that way.
Yeah, we'll just do this. So it was actually just on Wednesday. The GOP had put forth a resolution to censure Democrat Representative Adam Schiff for his role in the congressional investigations of former President Donald Trump. However, the House voted to table this resolution, and there were 20 Republicans that jumped ship. Basically, it was all pretty much went down party lines, which is not unexpected. But those 20 Republicans added the voice to the Democrats, let the resolution effectively die. It's been tabled, and with those 20 Republicans on the other side, there's no way that this is going to come back into committee and effectively killing this censure. The reason it came forth was because of his role in like I said, the investigations of former President Donald Trump, with all of the witch hunting that went on with that and all the fake news, for lack of a better word for that. So the resolution itself called for the House Ethics Committee to investigate Schiff, who was the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee and, of course, running for Senate in California, said that he should be fined $16 million if the committee determined that he, quote, lied, made misrepresentations, and abused sensitive information. So this basically, the censure, for those that aren't familiar with that, is just a public reprimand by the House to punish misconduct that falls short of an actual expulsion. The resolution itself alleged that Schiff, quote, purposely deceived his committee, Congress, and the American people, and, quote, used his position and access to sensitive information to instigate a fraudulently based investigation, which he then used to amass political gain and fundraising dollars. It also accused him of acting dishonestly and dishonorably. However, this is not the end of it, just because the representative that brought it forth is Representative Luna, who has been a very ardent supporter of Trump. She is from Florida. She is going to keep trying to bring it forth. However, those 20 Republicans, I don't feel are going to come back across the aisle. I feel like that's basically just going to, it's never going to go anywhere, but she wants to keep it in the conversation, which I admire, tilt at that windmill, but it's not going to go anywhere. But as long as it's kept in the conversation, I mean, that's the important part, is to actually keep holding their feet to the fire. Like, this is the important part, is to keep having the conversation. And it's nice to see that we have Republicans that are actually starting to fight back against them, because for too long, stuff like this just kind of, it would be a speech on the floor of the House, and it would be, they did this, and I urge something to happen, and then nothing would ever happen. Now we're actually starting to see some pushback from it. It may not have been effective this time, but the fact that it's starting to happen is nice to see. So
Yeah, I mean, because of the social media and everything like that, how we're able to get the congressmen are able to get a voice out and everything like that, and are people able to get a voice out? It used to be, is like, in our days it was letters and phone calls.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it goes fast, but it doesn't go fast enough. But if you have, like, hey, I'm gonna do a vote on Twitter, see how many people like this thing.
We'll see. It's even beyond that, because before it would be, in the old days, you would get the phones and phone calls and letters. So you would have some intern or underpaid staffer that would just sit there, and it would be tally marks. So they would call in, you'd have one person on the phone, one person to read the mail. You'd read the mail, open the letter, and you would skim it and say, okay, this person is tick against this. You get the phone call, oh, I hate, this, and it would just be a tick mark. This person is against this. And you're literally legislating by tick marks. This many people don't like this happening. This many people do like this happening. And it would be completely watered down to just, it was a binary almost. Yes.
Yeah.
Now with the advent of social media, you're able to get your opinion across, not only to the direct person, because they are looking at theirs, and there is still a little bit of buffer with the staffers and stuff having access to the official, like, Twitter feeds, but you have the person's personal feed, and you can actually respond to that person directly, or they can actually go in and start reading comment sections and getting a better feel for what people are actually thinking about this, instead of just a dry yes or no tick mark.
Yeah, and this is going off of Democrats and Republicans,
Right. That's both sides.
That
Correct.
they're using this as the benefit of getting their voters
Exactly.
voice across. Because we're not going to be able to go to Congress and every time they want to vote on something, go, oh, that was the whole idea of representatives in the first place.
Right.
And it's always been
this was back before too, when you really didn't have, I mean, there was such a communication lag between,
well, this is like
here in Washington. Yeah, you're talking about when it was a 4-day ride by horse to Houston, you know what I mean, instead of 4 hours.
Yeah.
When you're talking with that level of distance of the communication lag that was there, it was, you would represent, that person is going to represent this group, and they would just go over there, and then they were done. Like, it was, you didn't have direct contact like you would have, even, I mean, back when they were doing the phone calls and letters and stuff, it was still light years ahead of what they had at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. So it is June, so we might as well talk about Pride Month a little bit. I mean, we're in the middle of it.
I mean, it's now Men's Mental Health Month too, but nobody talks about that.
Yeah, it is Mental Health Month too. But it's kind of funny. Everybody's going, was like, oh no, we need the woke shit happening. We need to publicize, the transgender. I'll call them tranny. We'll get canceled, but we'll call them trannies. Old school. But at a Boston middle school, This is Marshall Simmons Middle School organization organized a thing on June 2nd. I know it's kind of late for us for doing this thing, but you know, like I said, 2 weeks. You'll get our news. From which they distribute rainbow stickers, posted prize sign, and encourage students to wear rainbow clothing. What did they do? They wore their American flag, and their pronouns are USA.
And they tore all the posters and stickers off the walls too.
Yeah, they tore down all the posters and stickers. It's one of those things. Here we go. We asked all the staff, teachers, and members about Birmingham Public School community to join us in taking the stance against homophobia and identity directed hateful actions. Superintendent Eric Crow wrote the letter to the community. School meeting was scheduled on Tuesday night, and this is what the governor has to say. She's disappointed because she's the first 2 out of lesbian governors. That's how it was actually printed on this from the U.S. News. So I guess that's how you say it. Because
way to say it.
Yeah.
They're openly gay. We'll just put it.
They're gay.
Yeah,
they're openly gay, which I will let everybody know. I don't care.
Nope.
Don't give a shit. But if I'm eating steak and you try to hand me like broccoli and say, oh, this is better than fucking steak, and you tried to shove the broccoli in my mouth, I might get a little upset.
Yeah, we're scrapping.
We might have that point to where, you know, I might be breaking an arm. It's just a reaction.
Yeah, we're throwing
It's not against you. It's just a reaction when being forced stuff, which a lot of people are going against being forced to grooming kids. And that's what it is. It's grooming kids. When the gay community in a whole have to create a whole nother group where they have chapter, which one of these days I'm gonna try to reach out on these people. It's a group called Gays Against Groomers. Check them out on Twitter. They're always on Twitter. They're posting stuff on TikTok and everything. I don't know if he's the head guy, but he's the head spokesman of the group because he goes on podcasts. He was on PBJ. It's a entrepreneur podcast, but he went on there talking against grooming at schools, which you shouldn't groom kids. I mean, it's getting to the point to where
I don't even understand how that's a controversial thing to say.
Yeah,
you look at the what happened with that dude from FaZe Clan on Call of Duty, where literally all he said, there was some protest that went on, and they literally all he said was children should be left out. They should leave the children alone.
Oh yeah, Mr. Disruptive.
Literally all he said. Yeah. And they pulled all of his map, his operator skin.
Yeah,
they pulled all of that, and that led to a huge outwell of support for him. Like Tim the Tap Man got his pack pulled voluntarily. He told Call of Duty, if you're going to take his away, you're taking mine away because I stand with him. Dr. Disrespect has come out very publicly in support of him. Like that's what I mean. You know, they're talking about how it's this hateful anti-gay statement that he made. He says, no, leave the kids alone. It literally begins and ends with that. I don't care who you are. Leave the kids alone.
They're a fucking company that deals with kids.
Yeah.
Who's playing these games? Kids are.
A lot of kids are. Yeah.
A lot of kids are. If anything, you should be going up and going, you know what? We're protecting the kids.
Yes.
And it's getting, I mean, the head spokesman, I'll call it head spokesman. I don't know if he's like the president of the thing, because they keep on saying it was like, I'm this president's chapter and everything like that. But he keeps on going. He went on to a public speaking and he ripped up the pride flag and said, the U.S. flag is my flag.
Right.
Which Granted, I would hand them fucking U.S. flag. It's like, hey, here you go, buddy.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing a lot of people are coming out and that's their stance. It's saying, you know, because supposedly the gay flag is all about inclusion. And he's like, that's what the American flag. Look at the symbology of the American flag behind the colors and the symbols on it and everything. It's to include everyone.
Yes.
All men. Everybody. That is
And
the most inclusive flag that you can. I mean, you name me another country that has the amount of inclusion and diversity that America has.
Yeah.
Name me another country. I'll wait.
Well, I can say Britain, but you know,
Now, and it's against their will.
yeah, that was a kind of funny thing that happened. I was watching this TikTok thing, where they're taking down the Union Jack flag to put up.
Let me guess, because it's offensive to the immigrants.
No, they were taking away. It was like right underneath the pride flag, and they just ripped it down.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well,
I don't understand it. I don't.
Well, it's like,
but my point I was going to make was there's a lot of people that are standing up in the community saying that that flag does not represent me. That
yes.
they don't even subscribe to the whole LGBTQ plus whatever. They're like, that's not, I'm gay. I am not anything else with that. That is not, I'm just because I'm gay, that is not who I am.
Yeah.
My identity is more than just I'm gay.
Yeah. Which they're going about it the right way.
Right.
And
because I'm not defined by my heterosexuality. I'm not defined by me being straight. I don't introduce myself as, hi, I'm a straight guy.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's like that
personal thing. If that's between you and whoever you're going to pursue.
Yeah. Well, it's like that whole California to Texas thing. Have you ever watched that on the B Babylon or
the Babylon Bee?
Yeah, Babylon Bee.
Yes.
That was so hilarious. It's like I'm he him and this is her she her
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, whatever.
Good for you.
You didn't be kind of fucking outraged because that's how it usually goes.
Right.
All right.
Like we figured.
That's how we do in Texas. Like,
clarifying.
I'm this. All right.
All right.
Well, could you move your car?
Anyways.
Could you move your car just like 5 feet back? Just 5 feet back, sir. When you say something stupid, like, oh, bless your heart. We don't fucking tell you you're a fucking moron. We just go, bless your heart. Oh God.
And depending on the inflection of that depends on how bad it really is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Once we hit cuss words, you know you either got into an intelligent beef with somebody or we just, bless your heart does not work at that instance.
You know you messed up if you got Granny. Granny cusses you out, you fucked up bad.
You fucked up bad.
You better just get right with Jesus at that point because you got nowhere else to go.
No, you do not. No, you do not. Now, we'll keep with the technology scare at the last, but we'll go with something that was old news but new news. Starbucks employee gets $25 million because she's white.
I'll make it rain.
Well, technically, this is right. She gets $25 million because she's white. Now, here's the full story. If I cut that up, it would be fucking hilarious when people watch it.
I swear to God, it's like you're trying to get us canceled at this point. Like you're going out of your way to make sure that we get canceled.
You hurt
so hard every week.
Okay, before we get on that, And this is only because you spark something in the brain and then it happens. We getting canceled and everything. Did you know that they're actually asking people when they're taking photos of Ukrainian soldiers to get rid of the Nazi fucking memorabilia? We give them millions of dollars. We give them billions of dollars.
What has it been? 500 billion that we've given them, something like that.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, it's been $5 billion that we've given to Ukraine, right? It's $5 billion that we've given Ukraine.
500 billion, dude.
Yeah. But that happens. But this lady, she was working as a manager at Starbucks. And this is the 2018. There were some unruly people that were of black descent being unruly, so she kicked them out. Okay.
Well, they were trespassing because they refused to buy anything. They were sitting at a table and they refused to buy anything. And so
most businesses have that policy. You have to buy something just to stay in it. And sometimes you just, if you have 25 cents, and get a stack of gum and you're good. That
wouldn't have been that hard to get some. And honestly, coffee is not that much.
No. Well, nowadays it is.
Well, if you get just regular plain black coffee, it's not that much.
Yeah.
It's like $2 there at Starbucks.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny that she got fired like a year afterwards or 2 years afterwards. The time span doesn't matter because what had happened was she ended up getting fired because they literally said in the argument of her getting fired is because of white privilege. Well, she used that and ended up getting $25 million in a lawsuit.
Won her suit.
She won her suit. Well, actually, it was like $25.6 million. Was the actual
$25 million for
$25.6 million. And they, that six might be actually the
punitive damages and $600,000 for compensatory damage.
What is the difference between community damage and compensatory damage?
I'm not sure about the compensatory. Punitive is what caused her to lose her job and everything.
Yeah.
Or could have made.
Well, the compensatory is to compensate her for lost wages, essentially, and then
the lost wages.
And the punitive is the punishment to go after Starbucks for doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the emotional.
Oh, emotional. Okay, emotional damage. So yeah. So she pulled out the right privilege card apparently.
And made it work. Like that's the funny part is that it actually worked.
Yeah. It's surprising. And last but not least, Amazon customer complains that he gets locked out of his house because he did a racial slur.
Alleged. They
alleged
claimed he made one. It wasn't even alleged at this point. They claimed it, and it turned out to be
delivery driver. Yeah, from what this says, Jackson said he wasn't at home when the delivery driver claimed he was harassed. Basically, he was using the Ring. Was on his phone. It's like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm dropping off a package. Well, the guy didn't hear dropping off the package. He heard, hey.
It's unclear because they didn't actually say what the driver thought he heard because he had headphones in when he made the delivery, and the homeowner said something along the lines of, can I help you or may I help you? Something like that. So it's unclear, and it wasn't stated on anything that I read that I was able to find what the driver is claimed to have said. But
I gotta cancel it.
They still, Amazon decided even once they received the claim from the driver, then Amazon just shut everything down in the house. That was the Echo. Anything connected to the Echo, that was the lights, that was his electronic lock. That was the
Not going outside.
internet. Anything that was connected with that Echo was completely shut down. And the homeowner didn't even find out about it until he came home and tried using all the stuff, and nothing worked.
Yeah.
Luckily, his physical lock on the door has a key backup, so he was able to get in his house. But when he was trying to use all this stuff, nothing was working. So he called Amazon support, and that's when he found out about this. They tried to claim it as something like a violation of the terms of service or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, again, they didn't even investigate into it until after they shut everything down. And then afterwards is when they started going back and reviewing. Like, they looked at the ring footage and found out that he didn't say anything even remotely close to what the driver tried to claim that he did. And then it was they walked it back. It was like, oh, well, our bad. And they turned everything back on. But I cannot wait for the lawsuit to come out of this one.
Oh God, yes. It's gonna be substantial.
Yeah.
It'd be really bad if they was like, hey, can we just credit this on an Amazon account? You can take anything.
Can I give this to you on an Amazon gift card?
Exactly. That would be fucking hilarious. You can take, here's how you can take $1 million from us or $25 million in Amazon gift card. Your choice.
$1 million? You better put some zeros behind that.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be like a $100 million suit, and there's gonna be
what's gonna screw them over the worst is the fact that they didn't investigate beforehand. That's where they're gonna get hurt the worst, is that they just sight unseen shut down all of his access to it completely, and that's gonna to shoot him in the foot badly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people should be scared, because that's the reason why I don't do any of the Amazon stuff or the Siri stuff. Just recently, I just turned on my Siri stuff so I can actually do it when I'm in the car. That's the only reason why I have my. And when I get out of the car, I usually turn it off.
Yeah,
because it's the basic fact of I don't want people hearing me, and most of the time my phone's in the other room.
Yeah. And you know, there's the joke all the time now is, you know, the people used to worry about being wiretapped, and now they ask their wiretap for pancake recipes. You know, that's the old joke, but
yeah,
a lot of truth that's behind it. And especially if they can start doing this, like, that's policing speech.
Yeah.
That's a blatant violation of your First Amendment speech.
And
what people don't understand is that the First Amendment isn't there to protect and make sure that it's only nice speech. The First Amendment is there to protect speech that you don't agree with,
or you need to hear because something's fucking up in your country or in your world.
But it's difficult language is protected, and that includes something that's they make that all the time. Well, what if he's saying something racist? You know what? That's his right. Exactly. I'm not saying he is right. I'm saying he has the right. You have the right to disagree with him, but he has the right to believe what he wants to believe. He's stupid.
Yeah, like flat earthers.
There's nothing against the law that says you can't be stupid.
What's really funny is those people that actually cover their ears and it's like, I don't need to hear this. I don't need to hear this. I was like, no, bitch. You need to hear this. It's toxic. No, it's not. It's the truth. Toxic. Truth isn't the toxic. You believing that you're this way and have this kind of scenario, and I'm not trying to be, you know, emphasis on a person's way. I'm talking like flat earthers. Or
what's toxic.
That's what's toxic. People that say they're part of a sovereign country. That's toxic.
Sovereign citizens. Oh God, we started on them. Oh
God, they just my
blood boil. I love watching them because they always end up riding the lightning almost every single time, and I love watching them get hurt.
And a lot of the times,
but just the lead up to that, and I swear if I hear
a lot of the time,
one more freaking time, I swear to God.
What's really funny on those sovereign citizen things, almost every time, it's someone told them.
Yeah. You
It's,
don't know your rights. You don't know your rights.
it's someone told me this is right. You can hear it.
Yes.
On, like,
Print out from the internet.
you go back and watch cop episodes.
How many times have you seen that where it's like,
Oh my
I
God.
have a printout of the law from the internet?
Yes. I'm like,
And then it's like some Wikipedia page or something.
exactly.
It's,
I'm a sovereign citizen.
I'm a
What?
Moorish American national. Nah, it's not a thing.
No, that's not a thing.
It's
They're even giving out passports now.
yeah.
There's some places that are giving out passports.
Yep, it's on construction paper. It's written in crayon. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's awful pretty.
Yeah, it works out. It's so sad. It's so sad. It is so sad. Those are the type of peoples that I really wish we could just snuff out. But we have laws in place that give those people the right to speak.
Right, exactly. Believe it or not, it's not legal to shoot those people.
But
That
it's
is the
also-
true crime.
It's also my right to be offended about that stuff or not to be offended. Like if someone's saying, I get it all the time, and yes, I'm gonna have a conspiracy show that people can come up and yell at me all they fucking want, how wrong I am about how the lizard people are taking over our country.
They're making the freaking frogs gay.
I'm allowed to say that, but you can come at me too, and I'll laugh at the comments.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, we have. I had. Well, I told you this. Like we fought at the first time that we had a troll.
Yes.
I was
excited.
I was excited. Two, I was civil as fuck. And the guy got it was baffling to me because he wasn't on my level. Honestly, there was no way this guy could have been on my level the way that he was going after on this stuff.
Right.
And it was one of those things. It's like, guys, it was like, are you upset? I was like, no, I'm kind of sad for the guy. If you're not on my level and you're trying to play on my level and you're just, it's like having 100-pound weight and trying to run uphill when all you have to do is like release the harness.
Yeah.
And run up the hill. You're struggling. You can't get up there. He's like, I'll never be able to do this. Well, take off the harness. You'll be able to do it.
Well,
No, I have to do it this way because this is the way my forefathers did and his forefathers before him. Well, those assholes are morons.
Is that yeah?
Take off the harness.
There's a better way.
Yeah, there's always a better way. That's about it for this week. This bi-weekly.
Not only that, we even hit every topic that we wanted to talk about, but we hit all the topics we talked about beforehand.
Yeah, there's usually more topics, and I forget a lot of them. Even me writing them down, I'll forget. This time we actually
the ones that we talked about beforehand, as that we did our little pre-show kind of prep.
Yeah.
And we hit all of our topics.
We did.
And we mostly stayed on topic. Like even when we went off topic, it was still kind of topical.
It was kind of, it was like
more so than we usually do. Usually we go way off in left field and just
we usually go way off. Way the fuck off.
Just run.
Yeah. Ooh, squirrel. But
skinny.
You know what's really sad? And I'm saying this in general. I'm saying this in general because people are getting their information from podcasts and they're not going into the new news because it's going downhill in a fiery flame and nobody's surprised.
Yeah.
What's sad is there's something on TikTok called the Bikini Report. They're hot, beautiful women in bikinis telling the news. What's sad is I'm listening to them and they're making sense.
Well, it's because they're
women.
literally just presenting news. This is what happened. They're not editorializing. It's nothing. It's just this is what happened.
Yeah.
It's unbiased and truthful.
Yeah, and the
They just have to be where
I showed this one is like I showed this one to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you just showing me hot, barely clothed women." I'm like, "Listen to the goddamn fucking news."
Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, I have to admit, I have to go over it like 3 or 4 times just to get what they're saying because I get,
it gets through eventually. The blood goes back where it belongs, and then you can start listening.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go upside down just to get the blood back down to where it's supposed to. But I start listening to news from them. It's like, Dave, why are you upside down? I'm trying to get this fucking news done. I have to watch it when I'm upside down. I have to watch it when I'm upside down.
But no, they got some good info, and that's the sad part right now is that TikTok is a better source of news right now and information than your typical news station.
Well, a lot of the people nowadays, I mean, there's a guy that reviews restaurants in San Antonio and Austin.
Oh, there's a couple of them.
That's where a lot of people get their restaurant reviews.
Mm-hmm.
They're like they'll type up this restaurant.
Uber Eats here in San Antonio is probably the best known one, but there's several of them that do.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are going for that. I mean, yes, it's most of the information is going to the Chinese government, but we knew this going in. But
not if they're if it doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi, then you're fine.
You tell that to people, and someone's going to do something stupid. They're going to put their phone in a fucking Faraday cage because it's already happened.
Yes.
It's already fucking happened.
Those people aren't going to be smart enough to know what a Faraday cage is. Come on.
Okay, let me try to get this. What the Amazon calls it a Wi-Fi inhibitor cube. I think that's what it was called. It's literally a wire mesh, and they put it around their fucking internet box, and they get pissed off because they don't have very good.
Don't have any signal. Why?
Dude, so many fucking calls.
It's like turning your phone off and being mad that it doesn't ring.
Yeah, the text would call me up and was like, "Hey, we have a problem with the internet," and I think it's because it's outside. Because the way that AT&T Uverse does it, they have outside crew and they have inside crew.
Yeah, like most fiber does the same.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. I had this one tech, and he's like, "Hey, I don't know why the signal is not getting through for their Wi-Fi. I mean, it's small, and the place is small. Their internet should be coming through pretty easy. I can get somewhat of a signal outside, but once I go in, it on some of the things, it's like just out of curiosity, and this is for me. It's like, well, I think I need an outside guy. I was like, no, just out of curiosity. Where's the construction? Where's it at? Well, it's in this weird metal box. I was like, ask the customer why their internet stuff is in a metal box, because you got heat coming into the metal box. Well, it's not like a metal box. It's a cage type box. I was like, so they put their fucking Wi-Fi in a Faraday cage. He's like, what is it? He didn't know what I was talking about. He's like, what is a Faraday cage? A Faraday cage is something that blocks radio waves and signals because it's just how it works. He's like,
yeah, that lets your magnetic signal
cage. He's like, okay, takes off the cage. And the manager was listening in. Sometimes they're listening. Sometimes it's recorded. It's not a lie. Sometimes they listen and record. And my manager's listening and messages me. It's like, how smart are you? I was like, I'm smart enough not to put a fucking cage around my goddamn fucking
I didn't think you had to be that smart not to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I told him, I was like, hey, take off take off the cage real quick. Okay, how good's the signal? Oh, dude, it's like 100%. I was like, tell the customer if they want really good signal, not to put that cage around the U-first. What I want to say is like, listen, dumbass.
You put a signal blocker and then wonder why the signal is blocked.
Put the customer on right now. Put the customer on right now. I want you to tell you something right quick. That's the thing, what you have around your freaking Wi-Fi. It's called a Faraday cage. Faraday cages stop signals from going out. Well, I want that because I'm afraid the government. Shut the fuck up. This is what you need to do. Not do that again. Don't be stupid. The government doesn't give a fuck about you. No one does.
No.
Do you have a lot of cats? Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You have a shit ton of cats. Do you complain a lot on the internet? Yes. That's because you're a loser. Sorry that you have to hear it from somebody that's like far from away from you. I'll come by and I'll give you a cupcake. That's the only thing I can do right now because you're
like the only signal that they need to be blocking is the one from Alex Jones. Just stop listening to Alex Jones.
Oh yeah.
That's sound advice for everybody. Stop listening to Alex Jones.
Or the Young Tucks. Or Young
Turks. God. Oh my God.
Did you see
there are very few groups of people that just instantly piss you off the moment they start talking. They're that group.
Well, what's really funny is even naming themselves the Young Turks because it was like, oh, we want to have this because of the Turkish Revolution and everything. It's like they committed genocide, you fucks.
Yeah, look up the Armenian fucking genocide.
They literally invented the name genocide because of what they did.
That's like calling your group the Third Reich.
They didn't have a fucking name for it until what the Young Turks did.
Yes.
But I digress. Have you ever seen did you ever see the it was a clip of them getting red pilled?
Not specifically. I know that they've skirted on the edge of the truth a couple of times.
Yeah,
come so close to actually starting to get the point, and then they'll go and completely veer back off in a left field.
Yeah, they open up the capsule and they're about to take it, and someone goes,
just a whiff of it's like they get the air from the bottle, and it scares them, and they scamper off back into the
what's really funny is the once they California just said, it was like, hey, we're going to electric cars by the time 2035.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were talking on the Young Turks. They were the chick was like almost her mouth like using the red pill as a fucking lipstick. It's about to go in, and then she stops herself. She's got the tip of it in.
You're not looking in. You got the straw right on the edge there, and so
she's got the pre-cum on her lips. She's about to taste and go all on it for that shit, and then she just snapped it off
right there. Then, no.
But she's like, I can't believe they're making us do this when during the summertime they're literally telling us not to charge our fucking electric cars because it's going to be a burden on the fucking electrical grid.
Yeah,
I'm like,
now I had about 12 million cars on it.
You're taking the pill? Oh, fucking tease.
Yep.
Doing it.
It gets the tip a little bit and then went to sleep.
Yeah. Well, let's sleep on it. See,
it's like that's enough for now.
And Chris ended up sending me something from TikTok, and I got really fucking offended because they have a name for it now. What was it? Was it Psycho? Psycho,
You're a psychosexual.
psychosexual. They have a fucking name for it now. I am apparently psychosexual because the only thing that turns me on.
You attract them like flies. And it was like funny because you watch the video. You watch the video and he's like on a date with when he's like, you know, asking questions on the first date, and he's like, well, you know, what happens if I came home like what was the first one? I came home 20 minutes early or something, or 20 minutes late or something like that. Or no, if I didn't answer the phone for 3 hours or something like that. And she would be like, well, you know, these things happen. He's like, oh, gross, get out of here. And then he asked the other lady, if I came home 20 minutes late, what would you do? And she's like, I would call 12 times. I would go through your phone when you got home. And he's like, oh, tell me more. Tell me more. Keep going.
I got it. Hold on. Play the whole
You were literally the first person I thought about.
I'm psychosexual. I'm only attracted to crazy girls. There's something about mental instability that gets me absolutely bricked up. It's not easy, but I weed out all the rational girls on the first date. What would you do if I slightly deviated from an existing plan?
I would say, hey, sometimes you gotta go with the flow.
Disgusting. Lose my number. It's tough being a psycho lover because women naturally conceal their insanity and then soft launch it after a few months once the relationship's more established. Little do they know, that insanity is actually what I want. What would you do if I came home, say, 20 minutes late?
I would call you 12 times.
What else would you do?
I would go through your phone once you got home.
Don't stop.
I would get blackout drunk and get behind the wheel of my white Jeep Wrangler. And if you really love me, you would make sure I wouldn't crash and die.
Us psychosexuals have a saying. If she's fucked in the head, she can fuck in the bed. Psychosexuals, we're here. And in this day and age, we're thriving.
So that hurt me to the fucking core.
Because it was so true.
It was so fucking true.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, I've told this story like several times on the podcast that, you know, I told somebody, it's like, you want to see how my luck is with women? He's like, yeah, we'll try this out. I was like, I'm packing, so I know I have an out on this one. I just need to get the shovel or just, you know, drop it off the side of the road. But we picked up that chick and she just went all crazy and everything. And we dropped her. I was like, I didn't believe you. And now I do. Wow, Dave, how do you live with yourself? I don't date.
That's why I don't. If we're hanging out, you're not allowed to pick up any chicks.
Oh God,
I can.
Oh yeah. It's perfectly sane women that actually, you know, want to hang out with you and crawl up on your skin.
Not wear my skin. they
want to wear my skin
me from the outside.
Yeah. I want to be inside you. Me is a terrible different thing.
Two different things.
Oh, she wants to woman. No, I seriously think she wants to wear my skin. That's how I roll. If they don't want to wear my skin, they're out the door.
Oh man.
If like Chris,
but the difference is you don't go hunting it.
No,
they find you.
Yeah,
that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. It's like they see me from a distance. Like, he's gonna be easy prey.
Smell. It's like the weakest one of the herd. You know, they can always smell it out.
Yeah, somehow I'm the weakest.
You are the day old calf. You know, on unsteady legs, can't quite run right. That's you.
I
slightly brain dead.
I have to. What else do you want? You know? There's not a couple of. I think you need to put a couple of more extra layers on this cake of my life. So
weaving a rich tapestry of exactly who David is.
Yes, exactly. I think you need to go ahead and add extra stuff on there. You know, You want to make a meat cake and put extra sauces on there.
Mhm.
Have you seen that? I actually kind of want that as a birthday cake one of these days.
Oh, you talking about with like the mashed potatoes and the
Uh-huh.
and you get the steak inside. Oh fuck yeah!
God damn.
Instead of, and
That's
then
all
they like instead of they put like gravy as decoration on there and stuff. And
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
I would eat the shit out of that. Are you kidding me?
I would eat the.
I mean, I would need pie on the side as well too, because fuck you if there's not some sweet. I can't have cake and not have cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There needs to be something there on the side.
Johnny doesn't do cake.
Listen, pie is superior to cake, anyways. Everybody knows that.
But yeah,
But
sometimes you have to eat cake.
I mean,
those cupcakes y'all had at that office. God damn. You're
Dude.
like, we're having breakfast. And I would go up there, I was like, okay, I've been to
talking about those like the cookies and creams one or whatever they were made.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's still one.
That's one of the girls in finance actually makes those. Finance or no, customer service. She's in customer service. Oh.
What was the strangest thing that I had one time? Was a bacon cupcake.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Maple, especially if it's like
I had one. Yeah, that's what it was. It had maple in it.
Yeah.
Maple icing.
Yeah,
oh my
especially in a donut, like bacon sprinkles on a donut. Fuck yeah.
Oh fuck, it was so,
especially if it's candied bacon.
Oh god. Man, I'm glad I ate beforehand.
Dude, you're killing me because I haven't had. Well, no, that's not true. I did eat lunch.
Yeah, we'll get off on here. We'll call the show. I mean, we're going on 120 hour and 20. So
I mean, for us, that's pretty good though.
That's that's pretty good. I mean, we could
first one like almost 2.5 hours.
Well, the first time we did it was 2.5 hours, but we ended up closing the show up and
talking for another 4 hours.
Yeah.
I remember that was literally an all-day call.
Yeah, but we had fun with it and everything.
We did.
We became closer.
It's gotten us to where we are now.
Yeah,
and I still haven't worn your skin. Yeah,
I'm really surprised. Really,
hasn't been for lack of trying. I mean you are 5.5 hours.
As an indulgent. No. You did use me as an indulgent. How do you spell it? How do you say it? Indulgent species.
Endangered?
No.
Indigent?
Indigenous. Indigenous servant.
Oh, indentured.
Yeah. Indentured.
Yes. No, I did force you against your will into physical labor.
Yes. I mean, it didn't smack me around as much.
I didn't threaten you with force verbatim, like so much. It was implied.
You said you were gonna put a little bit of lube on it, and you didn't.
I didn't. Dry as the fucking Sahara Desert,
dude. I'm surprised. It kind of felt like you put sandpaper around it.
I did.
Oh, okay. That makes
not the fine gray stuff. Like this was.
It
looked like gravel that had been glued to a construction paper.
Pretty much how it felt.
Yeah. I call that the Dickerman special.
I love it that someone could top me and keep up with me. That's one thing I'm really loving about.
Oh, I topped you all right.
Yeah,
I topped you and kept up with you.
Yeah, but what's really sad is after you were done, you're like done, and carrying that weight on my back. I have spasms now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you work for it one way or another.
But everybody, this is What the Hell episode. I'm David Dickerman.
I am Chris Jacka.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Good night.
Laters.